Hi Marco, how are you?
Fantastic.
I heard that you are going to have your book published in Indonesia, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great. But before we discuss about your book and about the things that you're going to do in Indonesia, I want to ask you, and actually all the excellent friends want to know about your childhood.
Sure.
Tell me about your childhood.
Well, my childhood was, I was an only child.
Right.
And I became, well, my mum left my dad when I was only 3. So my mum brought me up quite a lot on her own, and then she met my stepfather.
I see.
And then, but I was still an only child. Okay. So as an only child, I had no brothers and sisters to play around with. So I was very kind of introvert as a child. Very
really?
Yeah, really.
Cannot see that.
I was very shy, very introvert. I had bright orange hair.
Oh my God.
I used to get bullied at school every day. Used to get beaten up every day at school.
I cannot imagine that.
It was not a nice childhood, a lot of it.
I see.
Yeah,
okay.
it was not very nice at all. And you know, I used to escape by playing Lego.
I see.
And I used to have a slot car race, you know, things like that. So my childhood actually was spent a lot of the time daydreaming because I didn't really like it. So I used to just escape from it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So actually, when you have this vision, do you have the vision that Marco Robinson is going to be like this, very successful, very rich in your daydream?
I had a constant vision that I would always travel.
I see.
And I would be in Asia.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And that's come true.
Yes, that came true.
Okay.
All my visions came true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When you are little, right? Do you think that actually property will become booming? Did you see that?
No, because I was a kid, I didn't really understand that.
Okay.
But my constant question was,
yes,
how can I be successful?
Oh, okay.
How can I be big?
Okay.
I always wanted to make it big.
Right.
That was an overriding kind of thought and vision in my mind.
Right, right.
And the question was, how do I make that possible? Because when I looked at reality, it was nothing like that.
I see.
You know.
So do you think that everybody, right, will be able to play in the property field?
Yes, anybody.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Even though they come from a very humble background?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? Or how about a very, like, you know, people who come from rich family, but they don't really think about investing. They just want to play around. Can be? Anybody
can do it.
Right.
Now, I'm from a very humble background, no money, left school at 16, no qualifications, nothing.
Left school?
16. Yeah.
Really?
No piece of paper. The only piece of paper with my name on it was my birth certificate. Oh, that was it.
Fortunately, you still have your birth certificate.
I still have that.
Oh, okay,
right?
That's great.
So anybody can do it. And actually, the rich, even sometimes the rich don't understand about investing. So they just throw the money at anything.
I know.
And hope it's going to just do the best.
That's right. Because I know a lot of people, right? They have a lot of money, but they don't go your direction, investing in property. They don't do that.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So when you have this idea on investing property, when was it?
Actually quite late. It wasn't in my childhood. It was a time when I was, from the previous conversation we had with Robbie.
Right, yeah.
I was about 30 years old. And at that time I'd left my job because I was totally stressed out with it. Didn't want to do it anymore, didn't want a boss anymore.
I see.
So my question then was, well, how do I make enough money so I don't have to work again?
Okay.
Right, and property came up.
A lot of people think about that.
A lot of people think about that.
Yeah, right.
And so what I started to do is actually I traveled and did a lot of motivational seminars and programs around the world. I went to America, went to Europe, went all over the place, saw Tony Robbins, saw Brian Tracy, so all these people around the world, and then it became more of a reality that that's what I had to do. And then at one of those programs, I actually met one of my mentors. His name is Paul Council, multimillionaire, who started from zero. When he was 40, he was broke.
Oh.
Right, and within 3 years became a millionaire. So we became really great friends, and he actually kind of taught me how to do that. And he became my mind mentor, because a lot of people don't realise that the only thing stopping you being rich is what you think about.
I see.
So he taught me how to think differently.
Okay.
And then suddenly I believed that I could do that. So I bought my first property, very run-down property in the UK, spent a little bit of money renovating it, and then it tripled in value, and then I sold it.
Oh.
Thought, well, this is pretty good.
Yes.
Right?
Isn't it?
And then I started doing it again and again and again.
Okay.
And then very recently, in 2007 and 8, when the global financial crisis came along, it made property assets very cheap. And I realised, well, hang on a minute, I can actually invest in a property that gives me positive cash flow.
Right.
So therefore, if I've got more positive cash flow, then I don't need to rely on a salary.
That's right.
So I started doing that.
Okay.
And that became really successful. I kept doing it again and again and again and started to increase my passive income in my bank account.
Right.
So therefore, I didn't have to work again.
Yes.
And that allowed me also to do what I love to do.
Right.
And what I say to all my students is put your hand up if you love what you do. And none of them put their hand up. Because they're working in something they don't want to do because they have to pay the bills to survive.
Right, that's right.
So what I learned is, by doing it the way I do it and from the help from a mentor, I was actually able to educate people to do the same thing as me.
Right.
And when I realised that was possible for me and I was able to help other people, it actually changed people's lives considerably.
That's right.
Because it freed them up to do what they wanted to do.
So now you become the mentor, right?
Yes.
Yes, isn't it? Okay, okay. So what are you going to do in Indonesia for mentoring the people to be rich like you?
Okay, so what I'm going to do in Indonesia is a very similar thing I've done in different parts of the world. So I will teach people very simply how to replace their salary with passive income, fire their boss, and become financially free in a very short time.
Very short time? How long will that be?
Some people do it in 90 days.
90 days?
Not everybody.
Not everybody, okay.
Some do it in 90 days, the majority in a couple of years. So that's what I'm here to do.
What's the difference between the people who can do it in 90 days and the people who...
There's two differences. One,
okay,
the difference is the people in 90 days are very hungry to do it. They're very motivated to do it.
Very motivated, okay.
And they quickly grasp the concepts of what they need to do to become financially free, right? And then the second group take a bit more time.
I see. Does that, the money, the financial, is that the factor as well? Let's say if you have more money, you can be more successful. If you don't have
it goes
money,
something called equity.
Okay.
So do you understand what that is?
No, I don't.
So let's say you buy a house, let's say $100,000,
I see. Okay.
and it increases in value to $500,000.
Right.
So now the equity is the $400,000.
Okay.
So that money that's in the house is actually cash that you can get out of it.
Okay.
Or you could borrow against.
Oh, okay.
And you can borrow against that equity at a very low interest rate.
Very low interest rate.
Now in Indonesia,
we don't have
your
low
interest rates are very high.
I know. So how are you going to do that in
So
Indonesia?
you have to find other ways of financing assets in a cheaper way.
Okay.
So I also educate people how to do that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You are going to give this information to a lot of people?
Well, yeah. If you come to my workshop, which is free, by the way.
The workshop is free?
Yeah, the workshop is even 8 hours long. There's so much content in it.
Right.
Because I believe in giving a lot of content, giving a lot of information, that it allows people to really consider whether they really want to do that. Well, if you come to that workshop, you learn a lot of things that can help you do that.
You mean you are going to teach them step by step?
Yes.
Like having the property with very low interest rate?
Correct.
And
now you can't do that in Indonesia, so I'm not here to get you to buy property in Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, I'm not here to do that.
Right.
I'm here to get you to borrow the lowest rates
and
invest in the highest property returns.
Ah, okay.
So for example, you can borrow in Australia at 4.5% and get a return of 15%.
That's never happened in Indonesia.
And Indonesians can do that.
And Indonesian can do that. Wow, that will be great. I think this will be phenomenal in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Because in Indonesia, everybody will think that buy property, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
They have to have a loan from the bank.
They have to get a loan, and by the time they get a tenant, the rent is not enough to pay the mortgage, right? So all the property in Indonesia right now is negatively geared.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That is impossible to
Correct.
pay the monthly mortgage, right? with the rent money.
So the only people making money in property now in Indonesia are the very rich people who get in first, buy cash very quickly, and then double the money because it goes up so fast.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So you're making money only on gaining, but there's only a few people doing that because you have to put money into it to get a return out of it.
Yeah. So what happened in Indonesia is that the rich people becoming rich, the poor people will becoming poor. That's what.
The rich are getting richer, poor are getting poorer.
That's
exactly.
Right. So what you're going to do?
I want to turn that around.
Yeah. Turn that around, and you're going to teach them how to have the property.
Yes.
high gain,
Yeah.
but very low interest. Okay.
Not necessarily even high gain, just positive cash flow.
Positive cash flow monthly.
Yes.
So meaning that if, let's say, I don't have to work.
So what's the average salary in Indonesia?
Average salary maybe now 2 to 3 million.
Very low, isn't it?
Very low, very, very low.
So if you could replace that salary with passive income,
Right.
how would you feel about that as an Indonesian?
Everybody will do the investment, right?
Exactly.
And what do they have to do is come to your workshop.
Yeah.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, they invest.
Yes.
You're going to teach them how to.
I want to teach them how to do that.
How to do
You don't have to do that. I will teach them how to do it.
Okay. But when they know how to do it, right, but they don't know where to buy the property, how are you going to do that?
Well, I've got a big team,
Okay.
and I myself actually research all around the world,
I see.
and I source investments that give my students those returns. And I'm offered so many deals, I have to turn away most of them.
Oh.
And me and my team actually go and visit different places in the world.
Right.
We do a lot of filming there, do a lot of research there, and we investigate a lot of things to ensure that that property is going to give you a sustainable return. And my research is very important.
That's right.
Because most people, well, actually, nobody in school learns that.
No, no.
So one of the fundamentals about property investment, successful investment, is
Yes.
you have to buy property
Right.
where the population is increasing.
The population is increasing.
So that means that if you own the property, you can get a tenant easily,
Right.
and you can also sell it easily because people have got demand to buy or stay in your property,
Yes.
because there's not enough supply for all of the people. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the first fundamental is supply and demand.
Right. That's right. That's right.
So you've got to find a place where the population is growing and the people that are growing can afford to rent.
To rent. So the key is people who rent.
People who rent, or people that can buy it as well, who can borrow and buy it as well. So that's when you can make money.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay. So when are you going to start doing this workshop?
I believe we're starting in the beginning of next year, early next year. 2014.
Wow. We cannot wait.
Neither can I.
Because actually, right, in Indonesia, we really need this kind of information because a lot of people think about, rich people becoming rich, poor people becoming poorer, and then you're going to flip that, right? And you give us the way to do it,
Yeah.
right? And then you're going to show us where to invest the money.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you come to my boot camp, you'll actually learn how to research yourself. You don't need me.
You are going to
So I'm going
teach
to
that as
empower
well?
you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can do the research as
Correct.
well by ourselves.
Yes. But you'll always have my support and my team's support.
So that is in the boot camp. So it's not
Yes.
the workshop, right?
That's not the
After
workshop.
the workshop, we know. And
Should
then
you want to take the journey further, then
Okay.
you can do that.
So that is the intermediate or advanced
Correct.
level.
Yeah, correct.
So for people who's attending the boot camp, they will be able to do the research by
Yes.
themselves.
Yes.
For the first one,
Yeah.
you are going to do the research for them.
Yeah.
So it's up to them, right?
You're correct.
Okay. Oh, okay. So cannot wait to join your workshop as well as the boot camp, right? Okay. So, what is the dream or the things that you want to do that has not been done yet?
Well, I have to tell you, I'm pretty much living the dream now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
I mean,
so-
even last night, I was DJing.
right.
Because I've always loved music. So I've always wanted to be a DJ. So last night was my first gig in Jakarta as DJ
I see.
Naked.
Right.
And that was like amazing. So for me, that was amazing fun to do that.
because you are financially freedom.
I'm financially free, so I
And
don't have
then
to
you
work ever
are-
again.
Right, and you also have time freedom.
Yep.
So you can learn anything that you want
Correct.
to learn, right?
So I've got the time and the space to learn what I want to learn.
Okay, so anything that you want to do,
Anything.
you can do it,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so how fun was it? I mean, doing the
It was,
DJ,
I
the
can't put it
first-
in words, it's so amazing fun because you play the right music and people are dancing and having a great time. For me, that's a fantastic thing. And it really, that just, for me, everything disappears when I do that.
Right,
Time disappears. It's an amazing thing to do. So when you love doing something, that's what I do. Everything I do, I love to do. There's nothing in my life that I don't love to do. That's because I have the choice, like we were discussing earlier, right?
Yes.
So I have the choice to do really anything I want, whenever I want, with who I want, doesn't matter. No one tells me what I have to do.
Exactly. If we don't have money, we usually we do this because we don't have any choice, right? When you have a lot of money like now,
Yeah.
you can do anything that you want.
And the point is that there was a point I didn't have any money.
Yeah, right.
So for anyone watching this that think they can't do what I do, well, that's not right, because that's not true. Because I had no money, I was in debt, and I still achieved what I've achieved now. So it's not about being rich and having money to start this program. You can have nothing at all and still be successful in financial freedom.
That means that it doesn't matter where you were coming from. All that matters is where you're going, right?
Doesn't matter.
That's what Brian Tracy says.
I mean, in terms of society,
Yes.
you know, I'm the lowest of the low, because I was not royalty, number one. I wasn't connected, didn't know anybody, had no money, was broke. It was a very small town, didn't know anybody. So the lowest of the low. So if the lowest of the low can get to the highest of the highs, then why can't you? You just have to know the blueprint of how to do it. So I discovered that the hard way, the long way.
Yeah.
But now I teach people the short way, step by step.
You are so noble. You are so noble. So people don't have to wait like so many years to be financially free.
Yeah, because if people wait, that's not going to happen. You know, 98% of the world that reach 65 retire financially broke.
And it happens here in Indonesia.
It happens the same here. And when you've got no welfare,
Right.
Indonesia's not a welfare country. It's even worse here.
Yes.
You have to go to work to make money.
That's right. That's right.
There's no government assistance.
And a lot of people think that the fastest way to get rich, a lot of people think that you know, go to work. A lot of parents just ask their children to go to school, study hard, and then work and become like a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still think like that. In Indonesia, it's only like less than 2% who's doing a business, become entrepreneur.
Yes.
So this is another opportunity for them to have the option to become rich,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Become investor.
Yeah.
Right. So, what is your advice to Indonesian people, right? Or to Sahabat Excellent, we call it excellent friends, right? To become financially free, or because you have this wealth revolution, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, what is your?
Well, my advice is that if you want to become financially free, you've got to seek out people that are already financially free.
Exactly.
Because you can only learn that information from people who have already achieved it. You can't learn the information from people that are still working and struggling with money. And one of the biggest mistakes people make is listening to their families and friends that think they know best.
Right.
And tell them, oh, don't go to seminars like that, you're wasting your time. Don't do that because it's not available in school and it mustn't work, you know?
Right, right.
So that's the biggest test for people, really.
Right.
And my advice to you is don't listen to those people.
Don't listen
Come
to
and
them.
see me. It doesn't cost you any money.
Right.
You've got nothing to lose, right?
Right, right.
And everything to gain.
Yeah. Because if we want to go to a country, let's say, right, we have to go with somebody who know that country well and
Yes.
then follow them, right?
Yeah.
So when we want to become financially free, we have to follow somebody who already
Yes,
there.
and the thing is that most people don't know anybody that are rich. They don't know any rich people. They don't know any millionaires.
Right.
They don't know anybody like me.
Right.
So my purpose in life now, because I'm already rich and financially free, that I don't need to work again. So what I'm doing is giving back because that helps me feel better.
Yes.
It's the best thing I can do because I love doing that the most.
Right, right.
So because of that, I'm making myself accessible. You know, you've got the opportunity to come and see me. But you can't go and see the president of Indonesia, right?
What for?
To learn how to be rich.
No.
Because
no.
he's too busy.
He's too busy.
He's too busy.
And I don't know whether he has.
I don't know that either.
Nah. That's right.
And the thing is, you've got to know if they're qualified. You know, even in the workshop that I do, people ask me, well, how do I know you're rich? Well, I actually show them my bank statements.
Yeah, yeah.
I show people my bank statements, so there's no argument, you know.
That's
So you've
right.
got to learn from people who are qualified. That's the answer.
So, when you were down, right?
Yes.
I mean, a few years back, right?
Yep.
So, what is the things that motivate you? Because Sahabat Excellent, the excellent friends, they want to know, people like you, how did you get the motivation?
The motivation was always there, but the how-to wasn't there.
The motivation is there.
The motivation was always there.
Right.
The how to do it wasn't there. So for me, the motivation helped me find the people who had what I wanted. So therefore, when I found them, then I did it. I went and did it. So the motivation was always there. But because I wasn't connected to the right people, that was the missing gap. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. I think we have a lot of things that we get from Marco Robinson here. I mean, you know that a lot of Indonesian is waiting for your workshop and the boot camp, because we want to be financially free like you, and we want to be out of that. We want to be out of poor, right? So hopefully very soon that we will see you more often in Indonesia.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.